Your destiny is linked to your identity. This is why the dark room is so important. Like, if I don't put the work in, if I don't do what is required behind the scenes, I'll never step in public authority. It's the hours and the hours and the hours committed to rehearsal and practice and training and digging in and beating on my craft that pays the greatest dividends in public. It's the man that is willing to put it all on the floor when nobody's looking. Who do you need to become to start the business? To move into the new location, to start traveling, to make new friends, to take up new hobbies and new investments and endeavors, to impact? Who are you going to have to become to build that philanthropic portfolio, to serve in areas you've never served, to see and to sow in places you've never been? Who do you have to become? You got to identify those things that are holding you back, the places, the people, and the mindsets that are telling you you're not enough, it will not work, turn back, go back home. I'm hoping that after you listen to this, you're ready to go the distance, that you're ready to put in whatever is required to get whatever it is that you see out of it. And so the question is, are you willing to leave this place called comfort for the place called pain? It takes grit, humility. It takes courage. It takes a determination. Do you know why you want to change? Because once you get a why, you become dangerous. My why wakes me up. All I gotta do is think about my children. Think about the people that believe in me. Think about the people whose destinies are aligned with mine. That everything that I say, their future is attached to it. My faith is powerful enough to agitate someone from a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's my why. It's the next generation. It's the person that feels as though they've lost all hope. It's a person that's lacking wisdom and understanding. The future is my why. So number one, you got to make a decision. You know what? Enough is enough. I'm ready for change. I want new life. Number two, you're going to have to learn how to embrace discomfort. It is not going to be comfortable. When you start making these investments, it's not going to feel good. It's not going to make sense to anybody on your level. This is why when you're making decisions to change your life, you can't talk to people who are on your level, because they're going to tell you it makes sense to stay here and just make here better. When you know there is something higher that is calling you, there's a better quality of life, there is an abundance, there is an expectation, there is an energy, there is a resilience, there is a discipline, there is a zeal, a fire, a passion, a new life that is calling you. And everybody on your level will try to convince you to stay here with them because they're stuck in a place, a world, a universe called comfort. Are you aimed? Are you targeted? Do you believe that you have what it takes to pay the price? But more than that, can you handle the pain? Life will only change when you become committed to the dream. One of the many companions of every dream is discomfort. Are you willing to be uncomfortable? This means that I'm going to a place I've never been, and it's not going to feel good in the beginning. But eventually, if I stay committed, I'll see a harvest. You can write it down. You can see it in your head. You can have a vision. You can go to a conference. You can watch 1 million videos. You can write it out completely and make it so plain that some child can see it and read it. I don't care what the dream is, what the vision is, what you imagine your life could be. If you do not count up the cost of this new life, you'll never have it. Because you'll constantly be underbidding for what it is that you see in your future. You see, in the realm of acquisition, even in purchasing a new home, you got to put in an offer, and that offer has to be accepted. And most of the time, unless someone has a compelling story, the offer that is accepted goes to the highest bidder. And so for many of you, like, I realize that you're not bidding enough on the new life that you desire. You don't know the cost, because If you knew the cost, 9 times out of 10, most of us are not willing to pay that price. And so we just go on living in the mundane, living in the monotony, living in a place where our money's unpredictable and our relationships are unpredictable. We're living in anxiety and stress and overwhelm and lack and not enough because we haven't counted up the cost. What is required to live the lifestyle that I see in my head? Because I no longer want to live vicariously through someone else. I'm no longer going to just sit around and like other people's pictures when I could be living that reality. And so it's not that I want your life, it's that I understand that there's something more for me. But the question is, am I willing to write it out? Am I willing to see it, dream it, count up the cost, and then pay the price? If nobody's told you today, let me be the first to tell you, the life that you desire, the new life that you want, that you hold in your head, that you only dream of, it will cost you your old life. Today's pain is tomorrow's power. It don't feel good right now. I don't like it. I want to leave it. I want to throw in the towel. I want to walk away from it all. But I've got to be able to see the power of what lies ahead. Every single person listening to me is standing at the precipice of the greatest decision they could ever make in their lives. Decide that you want to change your life. Decide that you know it's time. Decide that you've been here long enough. Come to the resolve that you understand, you are aware, and you have accepted that you have been broke and broken and weary and exasperated and irritated and annoyed long enough. It's time to change. If you're going to be financially fit, fiscally disciplined, if you're going to have a portfolio in real estate and other business ventures, you got to pay to play. You got to make an investment. I knew that I wanted something more, and I knew I was destined for more, but I didn't want to accept the fact that if I'm going to make money, I've got to invest money. You have to invest in so many of those books and so many of those conferences, and you have to invest in coaching, and you got to invest in mentorships, and you have to invest in the book, and you have to invest in the impartation, and you got to sow where you want to go. In other words, you got to plant seeds. If you're going to reap a harvest, if you keep sowing sparingly, you will reap sparingly. But the moment that you understand that there is a price to pay to get where you want to be, it will cost you dearly. The question is, are you willing to pay the price? Do not settle. Do not think that where you are and what you see is all you will ever have. There is more, but change and abundance and breakthroughs and the miraculous, the extraordinary doesn't always come to you. It comes from you. I need you to remember that today's pain is tomorrow's power.